Every morning the world starts quietly, one soft light at a time. Homes flicker awake, shops open. People take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing, a spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
Have you ever noticed how easy it is to believe a smile means that everything is okay? Because it looks like confidence, it looks like control, and it looks like strength. But today we're talking about what lives behind the smile and why kindness starts when we stop assuming.
This is Kindness Rising.
Hey, listen, we've all learned how to smile through things, through stress, and through grief, and through exhaustion. And most of the time, we don't do it to fool anyone. We do it because we don't have to. We don't want to be a burden, because we're trying to stay functional, or because showing up still matters, even when it costs us everything. The problem is smiles are convincing. They can hide a lot. And if we only respond to what we see, we miss what people are carrying quietly. This week is about behind the moment, and today is about remembering that strength doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it just shows up and keeps going. Welcome to Kindness Rising. I am so glad you have chosen to spend your time here with me this morning. I come here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, to get up and get after it with you, starting our days with positivity and rising above the noise that is out there in the world, talking about things like, of course, kindness, but balance, action, curiosity, self-awareness, and growth as well, our six pillars that we build our show around. Good morning, Mike Sullivan. I appreciate that you are out there. Smiles go well together with giving high fives for humanity. Psh, high fives for humanity. Yes. All right. Welcome in Ilirano 2018. You're sad? Is that I'm sad? I hope you're not sad. Don't be sad. Live with joy. Live with the smile. Oh, you subbed and liked? That I like to hear. I got it. I thought you said you're sad. You said you subbed. Thank you for subscribing to Kindness Rising, your morning dose of hope, humanity, and heart, where we give more high fives to humanity. Absolutely, we rise above that noise. Yes, Merry Christmas 2025. It is getting to be the Christmas time of year. I hope you are having a great Christmas as well. Thank you for joining me here on Kindness Rising. Absolutely. And today we are talking about the smile that sometimes hides the pain, or sometimes we just throw on our face to cope. Absolutely. Dying days. Absolutely. Yep. Um, so I want to talk about a guy who I think embodied that whole idea of the fact that there is a lot of pain sometimes behind the smile. A guy who I know influenced my life as part of this Be Kind rewind. We're going back to a time, a man who was ubiquitous with comedy and with humor in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, even in the early 2000s. I'm talking about Robin Williams. Robin Williams, when we were kids, we would watch him and he just felt like pure joy and energy, mark from work, nonstop motion, voices, faces, a smile that felt like it could lift a room off the ground. He was the guy who made adults laugh harder than kids, and kids feel like grown-ups were finally paying attention. But as kids, we didn't understand really what we are watch what we were watching. We thought comedy was happiness. We thought laughter meant lightness, and we didn't know that sometimes humor isn't joy, it's actually armor. Robin Williams once said that comedy was a way for him to survive, a way to outrun the quiet moments and to stay ahead of thoughts that felt heavier than he could carry. The clown wasn't fake, the laughter wasn't a lie, but that was not the whole story. Behind those rapid fire jokes was a mind that never shut off. Behind the smile was someone who felt deeply and sometimes painfully so. And behind the generosity was a man who gave everything he had in the moment, even when it cost him later. As adults, that realization lands a little bit differently now. Every time I see Robin Williams' face or something comes up with him or about him, I see a different person than what I saw in those rainbow suspenders and wild hair and crazy antics. And um, his story wasn't tragic because he was sad. It was tragic because he's human, and his comedy wasn't just entertainment. It was actually an act of service. It was service for him. It was service for himself and for those around him. Obviously, I think not obviously, but I think people probably know that he and Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal were the minds behind comic relief, which came up during the time that we were having a, a different time, I guess we'll just say, when groups of entertainers would band together to help to raise funds for organizations. It was a big deal when that first happened. The USA for Africa, the We Are the World people, the comic relief, of course, Billy, Whoopi, and Robin, and then Live Aid, huge, right? U2, Queen, Phil Collins, going coast to coast for Live Aid. So those were big. And Farm Aid. Farm Aid was another big one. I am on a total side rant, but I thought those things were cool. I think once in a while we still see something like that pop up. We saw a lot of it during the pandemic, when they did those shows, entertainment shows for people who were stranded at home when everyone was buckled down and the artists were singing from their home, and helping to raise awareness and funds related to COVID. There was some cool ones that were for artists. Actually, there was a whole thing from Colorado artists that I really got into that was all about supporting artists while they couldn't tour, because that's the way music artists make their money. All right, I am really ranting today. All right, Mom, good morning. Good morning. I appreciate you, Roseanne Roof. All right, Ella Rolano, 2018. You're going to say goodbye. We say goodbye to you. We say welcome any day you want, every day, weekdays, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. You come on back and we will say hello and Merry Christmas to you. But for now, goodbye. Absolutely. All right. So we were talking. This started as Robin Williams, right? Um, and my whole thing, my thought on Robin Williams is, um, he really did show up in his life so that others could feel lighter, and I think he absorbed some of people's pain. I do believe there are people out there, and unfortunately, it became too much for him. But he was showing up despite that pain, and that's courage. And it reminds us why kindness matters, because you never know what someone is holding up just to keep smiling, just to keep smiling. So we want to be a little bit socially self-aware, emotionally aware, and we have a friend here who
Don't make kindness wait for evidence. You don't need the full story, just enough humility to know you don't have it. Kindness first.
And that right there is the key. Kindness first. It's what we believe in here at Kindness Rising. It's how we get up every day and get after it and talk about these things that lead us to a life of positivity, of giving, of being kind, and just a better humanity. More high fives for humanity, right, Mike Sullivan? Absolutely. Let's stay positive and upbeat, even though we are talking about the fact that sometimes that smile does hold pain. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to take a sip of coffee because my mouth is dry. How's everybody doing out there? What are you doing today to get up and get after it and stay positive, to keep smiling and to feel comfortable and confident in your life? We were talking about Robin Williams, we're talking about comedy. We can lift it up a little bit. Talk to me. Who are the comedians you are into today, and do you know their backstory? Because most of them do have a backstory, especially the ones who've hit kind of big time. Comedy is a rough business for people who are trying to get into stand-up comedy. They endure quite the struggle to reach the pinnacle, just like most everything, right? Those like Kevin Hart or Jim Gaffigan, or I don't know. There's lots of them out there. Anthony Jeselnik happens to be one of my current favorites. I think he's really intelligent and has important things to say in a very unique and thought-provoking way, for sure. But anyway, here on Kindness Rising, we do always multiply kindness and unlock growth by talking about good people who are doing good work, organizations out there that are leaning into our subject matter for the day, that support people in living their best life and rising with kindness. And today's kindness spotlight is an organization called Bring Change to Mind. They focus on something that comedy, creativity, and humanity all share: breaking silence. Founded to challenge the stigma around mental illness, Bring Change to Mind works at the intersection of storytelling, culture, and conversation, helping people talk openly about what they're carrying instead of hiding behind a smile. They understand that some of the most expressive people in the room, the artists, the comedians, the performers, are often doing double duty, creating joy outwardly while managing something very heavy inside. Their work isn't about labels, it's about language and about permission. It's about reminding people that struggling doesn't disqualify you from being strong, funny, or generous, because when we normalize conversation, we reduce isolation, and when people feel less alone, they don't have to perform to belong. That's kindness behind the smile. Check them out. They're called Bring Change to Mind. That is our kindness spotlight for today. Pretty cool organization, I think, for sure. Mom, let's see. Oh, smile, even though there's a tear in your eye, just smile. I know that one. We hear it all the time from your little Alexa. Your Jimmy Durante is running, and that is a beautiful song. Absolutely, it is important to smile through some of that pain, but you also don't have to hide the pain. At the right time, at the right place, people are there for you to listen, to just be, and we are open to being kind behind your smile, seeing behind your smile and accepting that too. I know I am here at Kindness Rising for each one of you out there, because that's what I do. That is my mission, to multiply kindness and unlock growth. So it's okay to smile, though your heart is heavy. It is okay, but it is also okay to recognize and work through those things that are making your heart heavy together. Together, absolutely. Welcome to Kindness Rising. I'm so glad that you are here with me this morning. I don't know if anybody is here for the question about what's going on underneath cruise ships, but we're going to get to that a little bit in a bit too. I added that this morning just because it was a curiosity to me that I think is really interesting. Has nothing to do with our subject matter. I'm starting to bring some of those things in. For those of you who've been around for a while watching, I just want to make it a little lighter. Weird stories or bits of information, education. It's still focused on positive stories and interesting things, but uh, going to start bringing some more content about stuff that's going on in the weird that piques my interest and my curiosity. But before that, we get to that, I do want to give you your kindness compass, which is how to show kindness when you don't know the whole story. That's the key. That is the message today is we never know people's whole story. Never, 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 never. Every story that you know, there is something else behind it. We might think we know people. That's why the people that know us best understand, but they still, even the people who know us best, don't really know our full story. But here's how to show kindness when you don't know someone's whole story. When you're interacting with someone whose smile looks strong, but you kind of know that there's more going on underneath there. First, pause your assumptions. A smile is information, not a conclusion. Just because someone is smiling, remember there's more going on underneath there. Lead with gentleness. Your tone matters. Tone matters. The words that you say matter. So starting with pausing your assumptions, then leading with gentleness. And lastly, create space, not pressure. Let people share at their own pace, not yours. You might even know. I know there's times when you know something's going on. You may not hear from another source about someone or something, and it changes your viewpoint on that person or whatever the case may be. You have a little deeper understanding, but let them share at their own pace, not at yours. Don't invade people's space. I've had people, not like what's wrong or whatever, but just people who want to try to get in there a little too fast. It's okay to share, but we also just want to make sure that people are allowed to give you that information and share when they are ready. Kindness doesn't need details, it just needs presence. That's your kindness compass for today. Mike Sullivan chiming in. Yep, Billy Robin, Whoopi Goldberg. For unsheltered people, yep, that was their cause was at the time we said homelessness. The verbs change. The problem doesn't. As a matter of fact, I think the problem only continues to grow. I can tell you for sure right here in our community, that problem continues, that concern for other people continues to grow as changes in our political system, our funding, our approach to mental health, and our deinstitutionalizations and all that. Don't have to get into all that. It's left a lot of people who are on the fringe, who have nowhere to go. Whether they are unable to get a job or mental health issues prevent them from having the executive function that they need in order to live in our society and behave within our norms. It's highly unfortunate, and the problem is deep, 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 and that's not what I'm here to talk about. But it's true. It is true that the unsheltered population, particularly, I can observe from where I am, um, continues to grow, especially this time of year. It's brutal, brutal. It's freezing cold in upstate New York, and it really shines a light. Upstate New York, Rosa Coco. Upstate New York, United States of America. That is where I am from. Anyway, got a little heavier than I anticipated about that conversation, but I think it's vital that we are willing to talk about it and acknowledge it and understand the problems of others and feel gratitude for what we do have That's essential, and to give back when we can. What else can we do? But just awareness of humanity and cool. Rosa Coco, Washington State, DC. I assume state. Usually people who are from DC. I spent a number of years there, say they're from DC. And people from Washington say they're from Washington, but I am asking because I'm always curious about where people are coming from. And if you're coming from Washington, welcome in bright and early here, along with Mike Sullivan, who's also out there on the West Coast with you, the left coast, whatever people want to call it these days. Rosa Coco, meet Mike Sullivan and Roseanne Roof, who are two very active members in our community here. And come back to join us. Subscribe to the channel. Come back to join us here on Kindness Rising every morning, part of the Mornings in the Lab network. And next we get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, who bring a little bit of a different, chaotic, but fun and great conversation vibe, no holds barred. And it's very entertaining, educational, and informational over there at Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, because they are going to help you get up and not hit the snooze button every weekday morning. They've been coming there for 2 years. I've been coming here for 6 months. Every single weekday we show up, and I hope you'll show up with us too. Subscribe to the channels and grow with us. Grow with us. The amazing work that we're doing at Mornings in the Lab Network. If you're ever curious about going live and don't know how to do it, we've got the tools, we've got the resources, we've got the people, the team of people behind you to help you to rise above, to show your personal brand. We'll talk to you about our EAT model, which I've talked about before on this show, but how you can bring out all of your best qualities, Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let's get on to the story of the day. The weird story of the day that I didn't know. I kind of knew, but I didn't know because they have to have something. But this is the one that falls under news of the weird. Did you know that large cruise ships have a morgue on board? Most of them. All of them, I think. I think they probably have to. The morgue on board, absolutely. That's not the surprising part. The funny part and the interesting part that I found was that obviously hidden below deck, modern cruise ships are equipped with big refrigerator rooms. And some of them are available for people who unfortunately pass away at sea. But why this is important and how it came up was in the news. There's a lawsuit involving a cruise ship death. The ship continued its itinerary, including hosting an ice cream party for guests. Why did they have that ice cream party for guests? To make room for the body. They served people ice cream to create room for the body. It wasn't about a scandal. It was the strange truth that life, death, and logistics all coexist in the same floating city. I thought it was weird that they were having an ice cream party. Like, oh, we have an unexpected inventory in our refrigerator section. All right. Now I'm going to get to the real nitty gritty, which is I will never go on a cruise. Never. I mean, I don't want to say never, but that is by far the least interesting travel way for me, travel method, vacation. That sounds like hell to me. I don't want to be in a petri dish. I don't want to be stuck. Just not stuck at sea. Not something. It's one thing my wife and I both agree on for sure. Cruises are just not on our itinerary. People love them. People, obviously, the industry is huge. People love them. I know a lot of people, including family and friends, who've been on cruises. It's not because I don't want to die and end up in place of the ice cream. It just doesn't hold any appeal to me. I'm not a cruisy beach guy. Actually, I'm going to change it because I'm just talking, yapping here. I might do something in Europe. Might, use a boat to get around, but I'd rather use a train or be on foot or airplane or whatever. But a cruise for the purpose of being on the cruise just doesn't hold interest to me. How about you? Anyway. All right. So next time you're eating ice cream on a cruise ship, you might ask them, how much ice cream you got? How much room you need? Anyway, I'm being ridiculous. All right. We are nearing the end here. I am so glad that everyone came out here and joined us on Kindness Rising this morning, where we talked about behind the moment, the smiles that hide the pain, the genuine smiles, and how sometimes we know the difference. But what the important message that I would like to give is just don't assume. Don't assume you know what's going on with people. Don't assume just because they appear happy that they are happy, and just because they appear sad in a moment, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are uh, a depressed person or a person who can't function, because that's not true either. I've been on both sides of that coin personally, and I just let's stop assuming. Let's lean into kindness and to compassion and empathy for people, because we all have stories that are behind our smile. What I'm going to do next is talk to you about what's going on over at Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and Friends. Sorry for the pause, because again, I just forgot to do this. I always like to encourage people to spend time over there with Keith, John, Friends as part of the Mornings in the Lab network, and get ready and get excited for a new show that's coming in February. We have a new partner, Cheryl Whitaker, in our Mornings in the Lab network, and we are growing. We are available. When are you ready for your show? That's what I want to know. When are you ready for your show? If you are, let me know, and I'll gladly help you get started. In the meantime, I'm struggling to find the subject matter over at Mornings in the Lab, but that's okay. Oh, the tablet swivel. Are we done with the guilt tip? The guilt tip. The tablet swivel. I think we've all experienced that. Zing, they just swing the tablet and let you decide whether you want to tip or not. But there's definitely some pressure there, right? When you're tipping. And then he's also talking about the Reiner tragedy and how that is a parenting nightmare, a different angle. Absolutely. We talked about Rob Reiner on our show yesterday. And obviously, just as details emerge from that situation, I'm still a little bit in shock over it, of course. I mean, crazy things happen in this world, but that's a doozy for sure. A talent snuffed out. Tough stuff, but he leaves an amazing legacy, from Meathead to Princess Bride to Spinal Tap, of course, Stand By Me, an amazing portfolio of directorial masterpieces, many of them. All right. So again, thank you for coming here to Kindness Rising. I appreciate every single one of you who comes here, sticks around, subscribes to the channel, gets involved with Mornings in the Lab network. Here's the thread that I want to leave you with today. You don't have to fix anyone. You don't have to uncover anything. Just remember that the strongest people you know might be using that strength to hold something heavy. So meet smiles with respect, meet silence with patience, and meet each other with the assumption that there's more going on than you can see. That's how kindness shows up behind the moment. This is Kindness Rising. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube and LinkedIn. And until then, stay uncommon and stay kind. What if your mornings could be inspiring and ridiculously fun.
Kindness Rising isn't just a show, it's a full wake-up vibe.
It's freaking fun, people.
Yeah, man, it's got real get after it energy.
I love it.
Wake up with Kindness Rising.
I help purpose-driven people grow their impact. 5-ingredient recipe to help you build your personal brand. Get out there and take kind action.
If it's live, they'll feel it.
On Kindness Rising, we bring you proven strategies and fresh ideas you can actually use. If you're not failing, you're not trying.
Exactly. Fail fast, rebound faster.
You'll see the bloopers and the genuine connections that make kindness contagious. We sometimes get into a little bit of trouble.
Pretty much my life made the list.
You can trust what you see right here is honest, respectful, and uplifting. Social impact organizations, and we always talk about them. Try kindness. It's way cheaper than therapy. You just made my day.